Okay, grab. Okay, I'm going to increase the brush size. Now I could adjust the brush size there, or I could go over here and press these square brackets, which I like to do. Let's do the square brackets, and then let's zoom out. And I'm going to bring this down like that, and then I'm going to options, traditional Sculptris navigation, press OK. Now, options, turn that off, press OK. Okay, there's this front view. Bring this down a bit like that. Maybe give it a curve. Go back to a front view. I like to leave the symmetry line, at least for the beginning, so I can just get things started. Now I'm going to grab the inflate tool, use square brackets to increase the size of it, and then got that. I think I'm going to maybe flatten the bottom a little bit. So I'm going to get the grab tool. I'm going to press W so you can see the wireframe there. If I zoom in a little bit, go over here, hold down Alt and move up, and then just tap. You can see it adds more triangles. And if I zoom in a little bit more, move up, and then go like that. If I go near a bottom view and then just press Z, it goes to a perfect bottom view. Then I'm going to get the flatten tool, which is that one. And this is very important. I'm going to turn on angle, fall off, and lock plane. I'm going to use the square brackets to increase the brush a little bit, and then just start tapping and holding down, like so. Okay. I wonder what would happen if I increase the brush size. Not much. If I decrease the brush size and go near the edge there, it adds more smaller triangles near the edge, but you can see it's pretty lumpy and horrible. So I'm actually going to hold down Shift and then just smooth around the edge. Okay, Shift and smooth around the edge there. Now I'm not aiming for perfect, I'm aiming for good. So that's good enough for me. If I zoom out a little bit, you can see it's still quite lumpy. So I'm just going to hit that button, the reduce brush, and I go on here and just tap a little bit to reduce the number of tiny triangles. Not near the edge, just above. Okay, there we go. Okay, I don't know if you can see, but it's kind of distorted, and that's because perspective is on. So I'm going to turn off perspective by going up to Options and changing the field of view, which is the camera lens. Move that all the way to the left to turn off perspective. Press Save, zoom out, and now if I go near the front view and then just click Z, it goes to a perfect front view. Okay, and if I go to a side view, press Z, you can see it's kind of a side view, and I just want to straighten this out. So I'm going to go to Rotate and turn Global on, and then just go like that, and then rotate it a little bit until it looks like it's flat. That's good enough for me. Oops. Rotate. And now I can get the grab tool, turn global back off, and just bring this forward a little bit. Okay. Okay, so I've got the grab tool, I've got symmetry on. I'm going to stretch this up a little bit more. Go to a side view, and then maybe grab the inflate tool, which is that one. Really large brush, and I could go up here where it says invert, or hit X as the shortcut, and it makes it, if I just tap here lightly, it makes it do the opposite of inflate. Okay, I could undo that just to show you another important trick, and that is with the inflate tool selected, I don't even need to go up there for invert. I simply hold down ALT to the left of the space bar and then just tap, and it does the exact same thing as invert. Okay, now I'm going to inflate the bottom, inflate the top, go back to a front view, and if I just hold down shift while I'm moving, it snaps to the front view. It's the same as if I were to do that and then let go and press Z. Boom, right view. Okay, I'm just going to smooth the bottom a little bit. There we go. And I'm going to add some eyes. So I'm going to go to the draw tool, grab clay, and I'm just going to zoom in a little bit over there and just tap. And you can see it's coming out a little bit, but it's very flat. Okay, I could make it come out more by increasing the strength slider. And now it comes out a little bit faster, but it's still kind of flat. Okay, so let's undo that, and let's turn off clay. Okay, what clay does is it adds clay and then it smushes it down onto the surface as if you were to push the clay on with your thumb. If I turn clay off, it'll come out more rounded. Okay, and it's coming out too fast now, I can't control it. So now I actually need to slide this strength slider back to the middle and just do it like that for the eyes. Okay, so those could be the eyes. And then I could do maybe a crease for the mouth. How about something like that? Just really boring. Doesn't go in enough, so I increase the strength slider a bit. That's a bit better. Maybe I want it to go in a little bit more on the corners. Just tap there. Okay. And then maybe I want to make the lips come out a little bit. So I'm going to go back to my draw tool, but this time I am going to turn on clay. And let's zoom in just a little bit, and you'll notice that my cursor becomes smaller in relationship to the object. And then I can do that, and do that. Okay. I can smooth the corner there just by holding down shift, and it smooths it a little bit. Getting a little bit of a pucker there. It's kind of funny. The more I zoom in, the smaller my brush gets, but you'll also notice it makes more tiny triangles. And I'm going to just crease that a bit better. Now that I've zoomed in, I can have more control. Okay, now I'm going to use the draw tool. I'm going to make the bottom lip stand out more. And definitely in the middle more than the edges. Don't forget to rotate around and look at it from all angles like this. Okay. Okay. Another thing I can do is pinch. I'm going to zoom out a little bit and just pinch it there. I like to tap with the pinch, but if I go and I hold down the mouse, it'll kind of do that too. I personally like to tap because it gives me more control. Okay, I'm liking that. I'm going to add some nostrils. Do I want a nose? Let's have a look. Let's press W for a second. Let's also turn on a plasticky color. Okay. It's interesting, it's showing some lines there which I didn't really want. I want it to be a bit more smooth. So let's just smooth this with a shift. And if it happens too fast, you can always hold down shift and then adjust the strength slider to the left a little bit. That's a bit better. And I also want to smooth up there a little bit more. And under there. Okay, do I want nostrils? By the way, I'm just warming up and then I'm going to have a go at these guys over here. This is just a warm-up session. So I'm going to draw, clay off, smaller brush size. I can use my square brackets. And I'm going to hold down Alt to make it go in. And for this one, I'm fine with something simple like that. Okay. I think I want creases around the eyes. So I think what I'm going to do for the eyes instead is maybe flatten those off. Now let's carry on with this, and I'll show you another method for the second one we do. So let's go to the crease tool. Let's go in a little bit, and let's see if I can go around here. To be honest, it's a bit tricky with things like this. So Control Z is your friend. I can carry on this side. Okay, and then if I wanted to, I could just zoom in a little bit more with a smaller brush, square brackets, and just smooth. If there's any bits I want to smooth, I can do that. I can also use the pinch tool. And if it helps to turn off the reflections, I can do that too, but choosing a different material. Sometimes I can see better if I choose different materials. Oops. We don't want evil eyebrows on this guy. This guy's a nice guy. Alright, I'm kind of getting rid of that crease a little bit. That's okay. Alright. And he's kind of like a bowling pin, I guess. I guess I don't really like the bottom half of him, so I'm going to sort of change that. A major change. Go to the grab tool, big brush, actually a little bit smaller. And let's just bring that up a bit. Okay. Now I'm going to hold down Shift. I'm going to increase the strength slider. And you can see it's not smoothing very easily. Okay, if I press W, you'll see that there's tons of tiny triangles there. If I grab my reduce brush, which is that one right there, and then reduce the number of tiny triangles down there. Okay, maybe I increase the strength slider on the reduce brush, and I can reduce the number of triangles there. And then I go to get my move grab tool. Excuse me. And then when I go to smooth it, ooh, should we make a slug? That'd be kind of neat, wouldn't it? Z gives me a perfect side view. Now at some point I'm going to want to make him non-symmetrical. Okay, so that's actually a good idea. So let's decide all the symmetrical details first. Okay. Make sure everything's the way I want it to be when it's non-symmetrical. I'm going to smooth it, because once you turn off symmetry, you can't turn it back on again without losing data. Okay, let's bring this in a bit. You want to make sure your guy looks good from all angles. Okay. I think I'm going to put a inflate tool on the back there a little bit. Don't forget you can zoom out to get a better view. Inflate tool. That helped a little bit with the shape I'm looking for. I can use the crease tool. I'm actually doing this guy without any plan, and I like to do that when I warm up, because it sort of frees you up a little bit. You don't have to worry too much about what you're trying to achieve. Just have fun. And I'm going to just crease around the back there a little bit. I don't know what this guy is going to be. Maybe a snaily type creature. Okay. I'm pretty sure I like the front. So now I'm going to turn off symmetry. And it says this is typically a one-way operation. And now I'm going to get my grab tool. Go into a top view. I'm going to get a really big tool there. And I'm going to start moving it, but I'm also going to try rotating it without global on. Okay, so I'm going to get a big brush. And rotate it that way. Oops. And the grab tool. don't forget to keep changing the size of your brush to the most appropriate size for what you're trying to achieve. Okay, I'm going to just give this a couple taps to give it more detail, and then in here I'm going to smooth this out. I don't like this bit. Okay, I can use the draw tool with clay turned on a little bit bigger, and I can hold down Alt to make it go in, which is kind of a neat tool. I think I'll turn off wireframe for a minute, see what I'm looking at. Okay, shift to smooth a little bit. Now, as it's non-symmetrical, I can actually make some interesting changes. Maybe I go in on this side and come out on that side. And if you're not sure about something and you want to smooth it back out, you can also press Ctrl Z to undo, or you could smooth it out. I'm going to put W back on so you can see what's going to happen. If I hold Shift, it smooths out, but it doesn't smooth out so much as easily if you've got tiny little details. I'll exaggerate that effect to show you what I mean. I'll get the crease tool and a tiny brush. Don't do this at home, kids. That's the way to crash your computer. Tiny brush with any drawing tool. In fact, let me show you. At the moment, this model has 36,438 triangles. 36,000, yeah? If I use a tiny brush and I do that, it doesn't actually add that much of a change to the physical shape of the object, but it changed it from 36 to 62, so almost twice as many triangles just for that one stroke. You do a couple more strokes like that, the computer will definitely crash and you'll lose all your work. So I'm going to press undo there. So my rule is leave the W on when you're learning and leave your brushes up towards the middle when you're working. Okay, so if I do that, let's demonstrate what I was going to demonstrate. Let's say you have really tiny triangles, like so. Loads of tiny triangles. And you've got W turned off, and you go to smooth, right? So I've got my draw tool, I'm drawing a little bit, and you want to smooth out the lumpiness. I hold down Shift, I try to smooth it, but at some point I just realize I cannot smooth it any further. It looks lumpy, it looks terrible. Okay, in that instance, press W so you can see what the problem is. That's the problem. I can't smooth out something when it's got so many tiny triangles. So what I do is I go to the reduce brush, and I tap those areas, and if it's not doing anything, increase the strength of the reduce brush. Tap those areas to make the triangles more like the surrounding size triangles. Then when I go to smooth, everything's good. Okay, I think I'm done with this guy for today because I want to get on to the actual creatures that I designed last night. So let's just turn off W. Get a look at this with some plasticky type material, and you can look at it all around. I like that guy. Okay, it's not done. I'll come back to it after my eyes have rested and probably notice things that I didn't notice now, and I'll fix them. Okay, so I'll see you in a few minutes for a little bit more.